Hey, Greg. I'm doing good. I'm doing well, man. How are you doing today?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. We will just be starting here in a few minutes on our daily Seamless.AI training. So look forward to digging in and taking on the product demo here. But we typically give everyone a few moments just to filter in to the group. So around 3 or 4 after the hour, we will go ahead and get started with the Seamless.AI training. I will mention while we are waiting for anyone that's currently on the line, we do have the option for Q&A. So as we are going through our demonstration and myself and David are going through the product demo, feel free to use the button at the bottom of your Zoom conference link and click that Q&A button and then submit any questions that you might have. And as we go through training, David or myself will work to answer those questions either in progress or at the end in the end Q&A session that we have. So feel free to click that button, type in any questions that you might have, and we'll go ahead and get those answered as we're going through the training. You have myself, Jake, who is the product lead here at Seamless, and then David Toll, who is our director of customer success here at Seamless. So between the two of us, we'll make sure that we get all these questions answered here in the demo as they come up. So feel free to just chat away with us anytime something comes up, either that you currently have or that is that pops up as we go through the demonstration, and we'll get those handled. So here we'll just wait another 1 to 2 minutes, and as we continue to see people filter in, we'll get things kickstarted in just about a minute here. And again, looks like we had one other attendee join. So welcome. We will go ahead and get things kickstarted, like I said, in about a minute. In the interim, if you want to go ahead and add any questions in the Q&A, we will go ahead and make sure that those get taken care of and addressed as part of this demo. We'll do it either in progress in the demo or at the end of the demo. We'll have some time for an open Q&A as well. But if anything does come up, feel free to just chat with us at the bottom of that Q&A session or the Q&A chat bot, and we will go ahead and get those answered. So we'll just wait another few seconds here, and right around 4 after the hour, we'll go ahead and dive in.
Yeah, we can do both right now. Whatever you got, we both it does. So it's, it's a minimum of 4,000 credits, 5,000 bucks for the next break of 15,000 credits.
All right, we are going to go ahead and get started here with our Seamless.AI demo. So I just introduced myself really quickly. I am Jake Phillips. I'm the VP of Product here at Seamless.AI. So my responsibility is to build out the product, make sure we're doing it as best as possible for our end customers, and make sure that we're hearing you and we're building out a product to fit the needs of everyone using the platform. We also have David Toll on the line, who, as I mentioned, he is our Director of Customer Success. So David is here to make sure that all of our customers have a great experience. He manages our success and our support team as well. So we'll go over how to get in contact with our success and our support team as you are getting more familiar and continuing to use the platform. And he is just here to make sure that everyone has a best of experiences as possible. So between him and I, we will be working through this demo, and then also you'll see us, fairly frequently reaching out via email or through in-app messaging to make sure you're aware of new things that come up within the Seamless platform, or new features, new training, just any way that we can help you succeed is what we're trying to do here at the Seamless.AI platform. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and I'll jump into our demonstration. So starting out, as I mentioned, the first thing I do want to communicate here is the ways to get in contact us coming out of this training session. So hopefully you'll get some great insight and some great tidbits to take back. We will post these training sessions online as well. So you'll have those for reference. But anything that you do have questions around coming out of this training session, there are two most effective ways to get in contact with us. So the first is in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen here. You'll see there's this little help widget. So you can click on that. We'll give you some suggested articles. We'll also give you the ability to type in any keyword that you might have, and then we'll give you some articles based on that keyword. You can click in, you can see the article right there, or you can go to the full Help Center article. If you don't find what you're needing in this widget, or you've looked in the Help Center and you can't find what you're looking for, you can click the Contact Us button at the bottom of this widget as well. And that you can give us your name, your Seamless account email address that's connected as your username, a quick note about how we can help you, and then any attachments associated with that. And that's going to allow us to help to triage any problems or any questions that you have as quickly as possible. And David and the support team that we have here at Seamless will get back to you as quickly as possible. Typically, it's within a few hours. Oftentimes, it's even much less than that. To help to solve any of those problems. The other thing you can do is you can click on the Help Center here in the top right corner of the page, and that's going to take us to our full knowledge base. So again, this is fully keyword searchable. The difference here is that this is organized into sections of our website as well. So you can jump into any of these sections. I'd recommend jumping into the setup and getting started and going through that setup guide if you haven't done that yet. If you need just kind of a full overview of what Seamless offers, you can jump in here. You can identify how to use user management, our search engine natively, our social search, any of the elements of Seamless. We also have, as I mentioned, videos and webinars. So the webinars we're going to post here, and we're going to show you the daily webinar recordings, as well as some just typical FAQ videos that help out and some of the things that we constantly see consistently asking questions about. We have some videos helping to clarify some of those things as well. So this is an area that you can jump into and get some good information, some videos, some tips and tricks, some screenshots, things like that. And each of these sections are going to have user guides. They're going to have helpful articles, some quick tours and things like that, just to get you more comfortable with the Seamless platform. But we're always there through that support link as well. And then you can also submit a request here that's gonna submit a request to our support team as well if you have any questions when you're in this Help Center. So a couple ways to get in contact with us there. But overall, the Seamless platform is a sales and marketing search engine. So think Google for sales and marketers. There are two ways for people to utilize the Seamless platform most heavily. So we have our native in-app search, which you're seeing on my screen right now. We also have the ability to use Seamless within LinkedIn through our Chrome extension. And so between the two of those, you will be able to pretty much access any contact that you could be looking for and then get researched, validated in real-time contact information utilizing the Seamless.AI platform. So we have different people using it for different purposes. Some people find it beneficial using just the native search engine, and that's all they need. Some people find a blend of the search engine and the social extension to be the best fit, and some people use wholly the search, the social extension, and really only use Seamless just as kind of aggregating all that contact information. The great thing is, regardless of where you find it, it's all going to end up in your My Contacts and My Companies. So all that information is going to end up there. It's really easy to get to, and it'll be research validated. And from there, you can import, you can export, you can delete and manage, do anything you need with your contacts. So I see that a few questions have come up here in the Q&A, so we will get to that momentarily as we continue to go through here. So I want to acknowledge that we do have a couple that came in, and we will address those here shortly. But the first thing before we go on beyond the search engine in this screen, I wanted to share is when you first hit the search screen, you're going to see this what we call search starter set. So this basically just gives you an idea of what Seamless can do as a search engine. So show me contacts who are VP of marketing at Salesforce. So a title at a company. You can also look for companies in certain criteria. So companies under an industry, under a certain size and a location, and find companies. Or you can do a multifaceted approach where you can look for multiple titles across multiple companies. And so you can see here in the left-hand search screen, we have a global left-hand navigation for search. You can find contacts or you can find companies. So we're going to have different criteria. And then you can also find contacts under companies either natively or through the social search engine. And we'll show you that here momentarily. But I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these search starters just to give you an idea. We'll clear out my search here of how this works. So we're going to go into VP of Marketing at Salesforce. So this is going to load in anyone who has VP of Marketing at Salesforce in the title. So the one thing that I wanted to mention here is that you may see two separate, basically, elements of the result. You're going to see if you already have contacts that you've already saved. So if I've already gone in here, I've already looked for Sarah Patterson. I've asked to find that contact information. I've clicked the button here, and I found that contact information. So that is going to show up, and it's going to it's going to automatically stay here within the search engine, and it's going to show me this contact information right away. If I haven't already asked for that contact information, it's going to look like this, and you're going to see that find button. So if I go to the next page, you're going to see more instances of this find button. As soon as I click find or find all, then I'm going to see that contact information. It's going to save in my contacts automatically. So I'm going to click that find all button, and you'll see it's going to go into research mode. Now Seamless is researching, it's validating that contact information, and it's going to send that all back to me right away. And then I can go in here, I can go into the next page, I can find all, or I can individually find contacts as well. I can click them individually. And then that's going to research it to validate that contact information. But we want you to know that you've already found this contact information. So we're providing that back to you. And it's saving in your My Contacts. But if it's a net new contact that I haven't already found, I'm going to see that find button. So I can click find or find all. We're going to research. We're going to validate that contact information. So here you can see I found the Salesforce contacts. I can do the same thing for other companies as well. So, we'll put in Oracle, we'll put in IBM, and then as you get those companies added, you're going to see those boxes show up. That means they're in my company list. So I'm going to put a couple of titles in here. We'll put in sales just for demonstration purposes. We'll put in director of IT. We'll put in marketing manager. I can type. Hit enter, and then we're going to search, and we're going to return back those search results as well. So you can put in anything you want here to find the contacts, to find those companies. You can use the companies, you can use the titles. You can also use keywords as well. So if you're looking for somebody who may be more security focused perhaps and doesn't have a security title, you can put security in these keywords. And that is going to allow you to, that's going to allow you to search the profile of that person for the keyword security, even if perhaps their title doesn't have security in the title. So director of security, if you put in title, would return back security directors. But if you're looking for people who have different titles and who maybe just have a relationship with security or might be interested in something that you're selling on that side of things, then you could put security in this, hit search, and that's going to go through and it's going to find people who have security in their title. You'll see here a lot of the people that now I'm looking for have IT in their title because a lot of times those are the people who are more security minded. So you can see that this actually goes out and it finds people who have more of a security focus, and then it's going to return that information. You can also use negative keywords in this section as well. So you can say minus assistant or minus intern if you see a lot of interns popping up. If you're looking for like a specific title, or if you're looking for VPs and not assistants to the VP, you can put in minus assistant, and that will then exclude those results. You can also use quotations, and that is going to allow you to phrase match. So if you have multiple words and you're trying to find a specific company, if you're trying to look for ABC company, and sometimes you're getting back company results that are ABC and that are slightly different, you can put ABC company in quotations, and that's going to a lot of times it's going to streamline that result to be more specific to that company. So keywords work across titles, they work across companies, they also work across the larger profile, and they look for and they modify and they make results a little bit more specific there. So you can utilize some of those Boolean objects. Fortunately, with the unlimited version of Seamless, you have the ability to kind of play around with the search engine, see what works, see how you can get things best working for you. The last thing you'll see here as an option within the search engine is names. So names typically, again, given we are a search engine, I typically wouldn't go ahead and if I'm looking for Jake Phillips, I'm not going to put Jake Phillips in Google and expect to find myself. I'm going to put Jake Phillips with a company with a unique identifier. So if you put in a name and a title or a name and a company, we recommend company and name. Then you're going to get back a single result for that company and that person at that company. Then you simply just click the find button. Your result's going to look just like this. Then you're just going to click that find button, and it's just going to be a single result. We're going to research, validate that contact information. Same thing. It's going to go in my contacts, and you're going to have that saved there. So that is a quick overview of how to use the native find contact search. The find companies search is the way to find companies at using the Seamless platform. So you can see here we have a number of different fields as well. We have direct companies. You can put in the company name in there, but oftentimes when people are using this, they're looking for companies under a specific set of criteria. So under industries, under employee sizes, revenue, locations, and then potentially some keywords as well. So keywords is the same thing. We're going to look across the company profile. We're going to find keywords to match up. So if you're looking for companies that, again, using that same reference, have a security focus, but may not be, Thompson Security Company, then you can use company keywords and find companies that might fit that way. So you put in a couple of keywords. So, I already had this loaded in, so I'll go ahead and leave that in there, but you can use the select box to select those different keywords. You can use, the employee sizes to select small, medium, or large companies. You can use revenue. You can use location. So location here, I have all U.S. selected. You can select individual states. You can select individual cities, things like that. We do have a single location select in place right now. So you can select all U.S. or you can select a single state. Or you can select, cities underneath the state and get a little bit more granular there. But this will allow you to target those locations down by a certain company. Then you can click search. And what we're going to do is our search engine is going to go out. It's going to find companies who fit that criteria. So we're going to pull all those back, and we're going to give you all that information. So you can see here, there is the information around the company. We're going to tell you the employee size, the industries, location, all that information. The one thing that I'll notice, I've ran this search before, so I have some of these companies saved, but I did want to mention that there are two options here. So there's an add option and a research option. So it's slightly different than when you're finding contacts, because there's two core things that you might want to do with companies. You might want to build a company list and then find contacts later, or you might want to find contacts directly under a company in the moment. So you want to find a set of companies, find contacts under those companies, find another set of companies, or find contacts under those companies, and go that way. So as you're going through here, you'll see that actually all of these I added yesterday. So if I go in here, I'm going to go ahead and actually jump into my contacts and delete all my contacts so I can actually show you what that looks like when that search actually comes back and hasn't had any of those added. So I've deleted all my contacts, so I haven't added them already. So now it's showing up as the ability to add. So as I mentioned, you can do one of two things. You can add companies to your My Companies list, or you can research contacts under a company. So if you want to build a big company list, what you can do is you can simply use this add button or add all, and that is going to add those companies to your company list, and then it's going to tell you right here, I've added them on this specific date, so you have reference to that. So if you want to build a big company list, it's pretty simple. Go in here, add all. You can, again, individually click the add button or click the add all button. But that's going to go ahead and it's going to search all those companies, and it's going to find that contact or find the company information and add them to My Companies. So all those companies are right here that I just added. The other thing that I can do is I can now search for companies under a single, I can search for contacts under a company. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to jump into find companies. I'm going to run another search. So now here's all my companies. Now, if I wanted to find contacts under these companies right away, I can use the select option. So I can click individually select and then add those contact or companies to my contacts, or I can use the select all option. So typically within Seamless, we're going to give you the option to individually target or target all. So you have the add all, the select all, the find all in contacts. So we allow you to do it in bulk, or we allow you to do it granularly, depending on how targeted you're looking and how specific you're looking to find these contacts. So if I'm looking to find contacts under a specific company, then I select all or individually select, and you'll see actually what happens is it jumps us back over in the left navigation to find contacts. And it adds those companies as companies to search under contacts. And so, you can come in here, you can modify any of the titles that you want, sales marketing manager, whatever makes the most sense. We're going to retain those titles from one search to the next. So if you're looking for the same companies, or the same titles, you can keep that title list in there, and we're going to retain that. But what we do is we add those companies as selected companies into your contact search. And then all you have to do is hit your search. We're going to go through, we're going to research, we're going to find contacts underneath all those companies. So Seamless is going out on the web and it's going through and it's finding any contacts that we might be able to find. And then it's returning those contacts. And so again, these are contacts that I've already found. So they're already in my contacts. So if I didn't have them, I would just click that find button. I would get researched and validated contact information, but I already have these contacts loaded in because it was a previous demo that I've done. So to get back to the find companies and go to the next page of contacts then is I would click back into find companies. So you see I already have these set as selected. So I'm going to go to the next page. Here's my next page of companies. Select all again. And now we're going to go back in here. We're going to drop those in. Hit search, and then we're going to research. We're going to find those contacts under those companies. And so here you can see some of them I've already found, some of them I haven't. So I can click those find buttons, and then we're going to research. We're going to validate that. And so then I'm all right. I can go through all my different pages there. And then when I want to go to my next set of companies, I jump back over to find companies, click next, click select or select all, search. And so I can do this across all my different pages. And the reason that we have it like this is because, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are a real-time search engine. So we're going through and we're finding the companies. And then we're using the companies as keywords to find contacts underneath those companies. So you will potentially see at times that there are companies that extend beyond exactly the specific company that you're looking for, because that is because we're not a specific database. So we're not looking for contacts under a company. We're going out there to try to find contacts across all these companies in real time. So we're doing a lookup based on a set of keywords and based on a set of the way that our AI is structured to try to find contacts under these companies. We do have another option, as I mentioned. So this is how you would find contacts under a name list of companies, or you'd find companies and then you'd find contacts under those companies. The other thing that I did mention earlier that I want to touch on really quickly is that you can also come in here and you can actually add your companies using that add button, and then come back at a later date and you can find contacts under those companies. So I can basically do the same thing here. So you see, if when I come in here, I have this research option as well. So I can select all, and we're going to do the same thing. So now we can see all the companies get added in here. We can search, and looks like I had a couple extra companies. We allow 10 companies at a time, so you can see the pop-up comes up there. So we allow 10 companies at a time, and so select whichever companies you want to include, click search, and we're going to search for those contacts underneath those companies. You can do whatever you need to do to find, and then you can jump back into your find companies, and then you can change that selection. So once you clear, it's going to go away. And so you can go through all your different contacts of companies if you want to build a big list of companies first and then go through after the fact and find contacts under those companies. That's the other way you can do it. So that's how you use the Seamless search engine to find contacts and find companies. And before we jump into social search, the other thing I wanted to note on this call is the My Companies and My Contacts. So after you've done the search and after you've clicked to find companies and find contacts, they're going to get added in here. These are essentially your saved list of contacts and saved list of companies. A few things I want to highlight in this saved list of companies and contacts. You have your secondary navigation here. So you have all your saved contacts. When you click that find button, they're going to end up here. You also have your My Email contacts. If you connect your email, you connect your Gmail, or you connect your Outlook, we're going to bring in all of your contact information from those emails, and we're going to put them here into your My Email Contacts tab. So when you load this in, sometimes it takes anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds to load in all these contacts. And the reason that it does that is because we're going through and we're trying to source all that contact information in real time. And your email is constantly growing. You're constantly getting new contacts and new email signatures and things like that. So as we do that, we're going to go ahead and look for all that every single time you load this page. So what you'll get back is you'll get back all the different emails that come back here. So you can go through all these pages and you can see all that contact information. This is going to show you any emails that you have, any phone numbers that we're able to source from that email, as well as the ability to click the Find button and append data from the Seamless platform. So you can click this Find button. That's actually going to take you and add them to your My Contacts, and it's going to append any additional data that we can find within the Seamless platform using our AI. So that's something you can do if you want to source contact information out of your email. And you can do that through the settings, which you can actually find up here. There's a connected apps section where you can connect all those. You can also go through the setup process when you join Seamless, and we're going to take you through about 6 steps. That's going to be one of them if you want to connect your email account. But this is basically the functionality of that. The other things that you're going to see in the secondary navigation is this name Andrew. So you're not going to see the actual name Andrew. What you're going to see when you join in is this says set default list. I had the default list just randomly set as the name Andrew. So what this basically means is I'm going to set a default list, and then all the contacts or the companies that I find are then going to get tagged with that list. So you see that all the people that I found in the demonstration that we were just going through are tagged with the name Andrew, because that was my default list. So now if I set it for computer hardware, because the target list that I'm going after is computer hardware contacts or computer hardware companies. Now if I go out in Seamless or I go out in social and I find the contacts in that target list, and I have this set as computer hardware, all those contacts are going to get automatically tagged as computer hardware. So this is, you set the list name, you go out and find the contacts, and whatever this list name is set as, that'll get tagged with that list name. You can come in here after the fact, then you can filter by that list. So you can filter by all your different lists that you have. Then you can actually delete, import, and download by that filtered list as well. You can see there's those different options that you have here. So this is create the list, and you can create the list by typing right in here, hit enter, and I'll just use dog. We'll put that in there. And actually, I already have a dog list, I think. So we'll use just a name. So Dave, the Dave list that I'm finding now, that gets now automatically set as soon as you create it. It also ends up here in your list to be able to use in the future. So any list that you create is gonna show up here, and then you can change the list, you can modify the list, you can jump back and forth, you can even manage and delete your lists here. One thing to call out is that this isn't going to filter your contacts. In order to filter your contacts, use this little funnel option. This is going to set that list for any contacts you find in the future. Then you can reset it, you can change it and manage it. We have a video and some explainer details around lists as well if you or any of your colleagues need a refresher on that in our help center. So I'd recommend keyword checking that out. But that is going to allow you to set lists, and then you can use this to filter by the lists. The other things that you can do is, as you get contacts, you can delete, you can import, and you can download or export those contacts. So if you want to manage your contacts and kind of build a fresh list, then you import or export it, delete it, build another fresh list, import or export it, delete it. A lot of people find success in that, just to keep a clean list in their My Contacts and My Companies. So you can use the delete option to delete selected if you have multiple contacts selected. You can delete filtered if you're using any of these filters. You can delete just those contacts or companies, or you can delete all. Anytime you click that, we're going to give you a confirmation just to make sure you're doing what you want, because we know sometimes you can accidentally click buttons. So you can delete contacts as well to keep a clean list. You can also import or download. Import will only be available as an option if you have your CRM connected. So we have Salesforce. We also have HubSpot as a CRM. We are working on a Zapier integration, which will open up the door for a lot of different CRMs. So if you're on and you're thinking, well, I don't have HubSpot or Salesforce, so how can I get this into my CRM? Right now, you can download as a CSV, or in about a week, we're going to have a Zapier integration. We're actually just about to launch that into beta here in the next few days. So you can start to directly connect any other CRM pretty much out there using that Zapier integration. We are throughout 2019 and 2020 going to be adding, at least 1 to 2 more CRMs and different technologies and third-party tools per quarter. So we do have some rapid growth plans for all of our integrations, but you can go through the setup process. You can go into your settings. You can connect to CRM if you have Salesforce or HubSpot, and then you can use this option to either bulk import. You can select import, and you can filter and import as well. So again, you're going to have all those options and functions. You can also click the, once you have your import set up and your CRM set up, you're going to see the icon of that CRM, whether it's HubSpot or Salesforce, show here. Then you can click that button, and that will actually import that individual contact. So you can singularly import, or you can import in bulk using this option. In the settings, you actually have the opportunity to set to automatically import as well. And what that's going to do is anytime you click the find button for a contact or a company, you are going to import that contact automatically to your Salesforce, so you don't have to come in after the fact. It's really just a preference whether you want to take data from Seamless immediately and not have to take an extra step, or if you want to review the data, you want to cleanse the data, figure out what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and then import that all, at once or in one process. So really just depends on kind of what you're looking for. And then the download option. So the download gives you the option to download all or download selected or filtered. And then you're going to see one little difference here is clean versus raw. Clean is actually a slightly more condensed export for you. So you're going to have about 20 to 30 different columns of data. And it's essentially all the data that you really see here on the screen in your My Contacts and My Companies. You are going to have a little bit more data in terms of the contact intelligence, and you're going to have some links there. But it's really all the core data that you're going to want, that you might need for doing outreach or for doing any personalization or anything like that for a contact. If you use the raw, you're going to have basically twice the amount of data, and it's going to give you really every data point that you could look for. So some of that extra data is going to be if you click into the email and AI phone area. So if you click in, any of these numbers or any of this email, you're going to see different company phone numbers, different contact phone numbers. You can see up to 10 in each of these columns. And then you're going to see all these different variations that we check from an email perspective. So we check not only, we're looking up a data set of data, but we're also going to check a lot of different email patterns and variations to see if there's anything out there that we can match up against. And there are actually a few instances where I wanted to call out some of these things too. You're going to see the count of the pattern, and you're going to see the email AI validation. So we actually do server validation on emails. So we're going to ping the email server, and we're going to pull back, and it's going to tell us if it's a valid email, if it's an invalid email. At times like this, it's going to say an accept all email. So when it says accept all, that means we didn't get a yes or no response, but it is an open email server that you can send to. But we are going to give you a pattern count, and we're also going to do some additional matching against data sets that we're able to find to see if we can find the best possible solution for you. And then we're going to always recommend that number one solution for you in this top spot. You will see in instances where the number count is actually not the most recommended email address. And so actually what this means is we were able to find data that shows us that even though that this is not the highest recommended email count, this was actually a data point that we were able to find as a validated email address. And so we're making that as a recommendation because we were able to find a duplicate set of data that matches up against some validation data that we already have. So you will see instances of that, but you're going to see a lot of different data here. But we're going to rise up to the top and make sure that we can provide you with the best possible recommendations. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pause here really quickly, and we're going to get to some of the Q&A questions. So the first question here comes in. It says, we synced our contacts into Salesforce, and my Salesforce engineer removed them. We did that a few times. We were trying to get them mapped correctly. That makes sense. Unfortunately, we cannot integrate these leads into Salesforce, now integrate them at all. Any help here? So we will go ahead and we'll get you situated here and figure out this situation. It sounds like potentially those already may have been mapped in, and you may already see this data point is filled in. So what I'd recommend trying is delete them from your My Contacts and then go ahead and search for them again. Then you should be able to import them again. We do dupe checking actually on our all of our contacts. So we're going to look up the account, we're going to look up the contact, we're going to try to find a duplicate. And actually, here's what it looks like if we do find a duplicate. So if you click that button, we're going to give you a little alert here, and we're going to say, hey, we found other accounts that look like the account that you're trying to import into. Would you like to use any of these other ones? We're going to give you the most likely account based on the amount of contacts in that account, because we know sometimes you're going to have one account that has 1 or 2 contacts, and your primary account's going to have 10, 20, 50, 100, 1,000 contacts. So we're going to give you the contacts, the account with the most contacts in it as the recommended. So then you can select to import under that company. And then when that's turned blue, that means you've already imported this contact. What I would recommend, though, is if you're having issues with that, is I would delete those contacts so that way you get the record cleared out and you can re-research that contact. That might be able to help you to integrate those leads. Definitely connect with us on support, too, after this, because it is a specific use case that you may be able to resolve that issue. But I think potentially that could help solve your problem, so I'd try it that way first. And then the other question is, how do I see the other possible email combinations? So I think we actually just went over that. I'm unsure how to make those visible. And then finally, on occasion, I want to see the first name or last name of someone whose name is only an initial on LinkedIn. Can Seamless do that? So at times we will be able to do that, but it depends on the data set that we have. So we will show you a full name if we have it. If we do have just an initial because of the data set, we don't always have that. So it's something that I could definitely take back to the team to see if we can optimize that solution. But we will show you the data that we have. So if you don't see the data, it's not likely hidden. And then on that same token, showing you the data that we have, I did mention that there is the ability to see all the different email variations as well. So simply just click on the email. We're going to open this AI validation pop-up, and you can actually make a selection here. So if you happen to see the other email and for whatever reason you know that another email is correct, or you know that another pattern is correct, you can make the selection here. And then as soon as you click that, that is going to save as the new recommended contact and primary contact in your My Contacts. So that's the way to see all the different email. The other question is, can I look up multiple names? And so I was looking for multiple names in a company, typed company, then multiple names, and it didn't work. I had to put in them individually. So I believe we do, because we do have most people who use this for a contact at a company to find that individual name record. And we actually have a little bit of things that we do to allow you to individually find that contact. And so I think right now, I believe we do have this limited to a single name when you're looking for names under companies. Again, I can take that back to the team, work with our development team, and see if that's something we can allow to search for multiple companies at a multiple names at a company. But right now, that is an individual company plus name combination. And then I see the last question is, can you show me how you access that one more time? I'm assuming, given this is related to the same person that asked about the other email combinations, that we're talking about that. So if you're looking for other combinations there, you can click through to any of this data, and that's going to open up the contact AI data right here. You can also see that you can add data here as well. So if you have the company phone, you have the contact phone, or you have an email, you can add that in there, and we'll go ahead and save that information in there as well. So that's kind of the email and phone AI. And actually, before I leave that subject, I did want to mention one more thing. So we do have, all these areas that we look for contacts information, and we try to elevate that to you. So we look across email, social, web, website, news AI. So there's a lot of different data that we look across, but we also allow you to provide us direct feedback as a user as well. So if you use one of these phone numbers, or if you use one of these emails and you get a bounce back, or you get a phone that just doesn't seem to work, you can provide us that data as well back and say, hey, this phone number didn't work. That's going to feed into our machine learning, and that's going to feed into our system, so that way we can make better recommendations in the future. So the more that you use this, the more that all of our users use this, the better the data this is going to get. So recommend using the thumbs up, thumbs down here when you're clicking into this. We are working on making this an even more accessible feature, but right now you can click into that data and you can use that thumbs up, thumbs down. And then what you're going to sorry, one second. One of my colleagues just popped in here. Yeah, so that is going to allow you to really, manage and understand and see all the data as possible. Every piece of data in here, once you add it to your My Contacts, is fully customizable. So you can manage the name, you can customize that, you can customize the title. So if you want to customize data before you send that data over into your CRM or you export that data, you can do that all here as soon as you get added. All of the filtering and you can do here through the funnels. But that's an overview of how you use My Contacts and how you use My Companies. The other core element of Seamless, as I mentioned at the very beginning, is the social search component of Seamless. So in order to use social search, all you have to do is make sure you have the Chrome extension installed. And so I'll show you really quickly how to install the Chrome extension. So just click up here in the top right corner in that 3-line menu. Click Settings, and this is actually the setup menu that you're going to see at the very beginning of using Seamless. So if you're already a user and you've already logged into Seamless, you've likely seen this. This is going to take you through. It's going to give you a quick tour. It's going to do all those things. It's going to recommend that you connect all those great solutions. That's going to give you the ability to import, to find contacts into your email, and then also use the Chrome extension. So add to Google Chrome. So simply click the Add to Google Chrome button here in the setup. That'll jump you over to our Google Chrome extension page. Click Add to Google Chrome, and then you're going to see an extension that looks something like this, the Seamless.AI extension. So that is going to allow you to use Seamless on social. You can also use the connected apps as well. That's going to give you the ability to add to Chrome here. So a couple different ways you can access that and get to that Google Chrome page. But what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to use Seamless across LinkedIn, find contacts there in LinkedIn Standard, LinkedIn Premium, or LinkedIn Sales Navigator. There's benefits and there's a lot of efficiencies to using some of those solutions as well that we're going to go over here. So how you do that is you can either just jump right into your LinkedIn. It doesn't matter how you get to LinkedIn. We're still going to work no matter how you get there. You can come here from a targeted search through Seamless as well. And so one reason we have the option to click the social button is because if you search on Seamless and you're not finding the results that you're looking for, or you're looking for some additional results, you can also click the social button. That's going to open up Seamless, or that's going to open up LinkedIn with that Chrome extension engaged across Seamless as well. So you can see here I'm actually searching keyword Nike, and I'm now seeing the find buttons. So these blue buttons here are actually seamless. So anytime you have the Chrome extension installed, you're seeing that these blue buttons are going to show up, and they're going to follow you anywhere you go, whether you're on a search engine page or you're on an individual profile. If you go on an individual profile as well, you're going to see that those buttons also load in to Seamless. You'll see that it pops in here on the right as soon as this page loads in. See that find button. What this means is anytime I click that find button, just like I was in native search, that is going to now load in that contact information. It's going to research and validate that contact information, and it's going to end up in My Contacts. You can search for companies, you can search for contacts in LinkedIn, and you're gonna get that information just like you are in the native Seamless search. So in order to use this, it's very similar to like you are using the native search. We made it pretty much a streamlined process. So you click the Find All or the Find button, and that's going to scroll down automatically, and it's going to scroll back up. So you don't actually have to scroll down or scroll up the page or go get all that information. As soon as you click that Find All button, we're going to do the scrolling for you. We're going to basically kind of take over your screen and help us to find that contact information. You can see here, actually, you can also set your list directly in the search results, in the search as well within LinkedIn. So if you want to change this list, or if you're using LinkedIn and you're just using Seamless to kind of store the data, then you can set the list and you can manage the list right in here. So you can use this within LinkedIn Standard. I also mentioned you can use it within Sales Navigator. Before I jump over to there, you can see all the filters that you have here within LinkedIn Standard. It's about 10 or so different filters that you're going to have the ability to utilize in this free version of LinkedIn. But if I click over into Continue Search in Sales Navigator, we'll show you a few differences there between Standard LinkedIn and Navigator LinkedIn. So one of the big differences is the amount of contacts that you're going to, or the amount of filters that you're going to be able to use. So if I go in here, I'm searching for leads, you'll see I have a lot of different filters here that I wasn't seeing on Standard LinkedIn. So if you're somebody who's looking for a specific geography of customers or a specific industry of contacts that are, people who are under this industry or under companies of this employee size, but you don't necessarily have a named list of companies, this is a great way to find those contacts in those companies. So you simply just add in your contact information, or you add in your criteria here, run your searches. We'll put all that information in here. You can put in really any criteria. We're agnostic to the data that you put in here. It doesn't really matter what you put in. And then that's going to return back all those results. And then you click the search button, and it's going to run that search. And so as this search comes back, you'll see, similarly to like we saw in standard LinkedIn, as well as the native platform within Seamless, you're going to see the find all, next, and then the ability to manage your list here that looks very similar to the native platform. So just like in those other scenarios, I can click the find all button. We're going to scroll down. We're going to scroll back up, and then those buttons are going to tell you that we found that contact information. So they're going to say, looks like I had an issue here. Anytime you actually see the retry button, that means you need to, potentially, usually just reloading the page will resolve it. So every once in a while, we're going to load in the page. Something didn't quite work right. Doesn't happen very often. But if you do see that come back and it says retry, I'd recommend, reloading that page, trying it again, and oftentimes 9 times out of 10, that's going to solve your problem. So let's see if that solved my problem here. Yep, actually, see, now they're all set as view. So that means I've added all that contact information into my my contacts. And so I'm going to go to the next page. It's going to load up, find all, and scroll down, scroll back up. And then this is going to show as view again. So all this information while I'm doing this is going directly into my contacts. So we're going to jump over here in my contacts. And now you're going to see that all that information that I just loaded in is all right here in my contacts, researched, validated with emails, with phone numbers, with all that contact information, with the list assigned that I had assigned. So you can see really the value of Seamless Chrome extension using standard LinkedIn, or especially using Sales Navigator. There's a couple quick points that I wanted to note while you're on Sales Navigator. So if you are a user, you obviously know of some of the benefits and some of the things to be aware of. One thing to be aware of, though, is you see my total results here. When I'm in Sales Nav, if you are interested or you are using this solution, it says 1,174,000 results. I'm not going to be able to get access to all of these results in this individual search. Scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that I actually have 40 pages of results. It's not going to go beyond 40 pages. So I'm going to have 1,000 results for every search that I run, regardless of what this number says. So what I typically recommend to our customers who are using Sales Nav and Seamless together is to try to get this number as close as possible to 1,000 results. So how I would do that is I would streamline my filters and try to minimize those and segment those as much as possible. So if I'm looking across multiple industries in the United States, across multiple titles, I might go subset into regions, or I might individually look at an individual industry, or I might look at titles and segment those titles individually. So just try to get this as close to 1,000 as possible. So that way you'll get access and you won't be leaving titles on the table and leaving contacts on the table. And so the other reason too that we allowed you to create lists and to segment lists right here in the Chrome extension is so you can, from a process standpoint, a really effective way to build a big list really quickly and effectively is download the Chrome extension. You are using Sales Navigator or LinkedIn. Put your search criteria in here, load that page in, set this search, set your tag of your list right here, either click it or create a new one. And then you can go ahead and click those contacts, find the contact, click find all next, and then reset your search filter to something else after you get through all those contacts, set a new tag here. And so that way your tag can kind of follow along the filters that you're using and be sort of that connection between the two. So that's a really effective way to make sure, if you are sub-segmenting your lists, to make sure you're maximizing that in Sales Nav. You can follow along using that list functionality within Seamless, and then you can go into My Contacts, you can filter, you can import, you can do whatever you need to do using those lists to keep things organized. So that is a really effective way, again, to use Seamless with Sales Navigator or with LinkedIn and get to a large list of contacts or a large list of accounts really effectively and really quickly. And so you might recall from the native integration or the native platform versus Sales Navigator, the one thing that you can actually do in Sales Navigator that is a nice efficiency is that you can search for contacts under an industry or under a location or under a certain company size directly and not have to find the companies and find the contacts. So if you do find yourself looking for contacts, not necessarily under a company, but under an industry or a geography or something like that, Sales Navigator is something that's worth checking out to see if the two in combination work together. I think I did mention earlier, they do have a 30-day free trial. So I'd recommend, if you haven't tried Sales Navigator and it looks like this may be something that would be an efficiency move for you, try out that 30-day free trial. With the power of Seamless Unlimited, you can get 10, 50,000 contacts even in that 30-day period. So if you're looking to just build a big list, that's one thing you can do is get a lot of lists using that combination. But I do definitely think that you're going to see the value there. And then obviously we have the annual contract that we allow you to continue to use Seamless across that entire period. So as you are working through the real-time search engine, you can constantly refresh all that data. And I think you're going to see the value of those two in conjunction if this is a method that you are looking to generate contacts. And so, over the course of a year, utilizing Seamless, utilizing Sales Navigator is going to be a great connection point for the two, the two to work together there. So that is really the overview of the Seamless platform, of the native search, of the Seamless search, and then all of the ways that you can kind of communicate with us to get additional information or to get any other follow-up information using that help center. So I will give just another few moments here to add any additional Q&A into this, but I do believe we got to most of the Q&A questions that have came through. So if you do have any other questions, we'll give you another 30, 60 seconds to add those in there if anything else does come up. But while I'm doing that, I will mention two other things that I did not mention when we were in the Seamless native search. So again, all of the contacts, no matter where you're finding them, are going to end up in your My Contacts and My Companies. Search is going to use native search. Social search is going to use the Chrome extension search. But they're all going to end up in My Contacts and My Companies, depending on whether you're finding a contact or you're finding a company. The Intel section of My Contacts and My Companies you're going to see across both. And that is actually going to give you a little bit more information in order to personalize or to get more specific information around a contact and a company. So if you dive into those, you're going to see a series of links that's actually going to give you more information around the contact, and it's going to give you quick links to some of those areas that you can get more information on that contact. It's going to give you quick links to a bunch of different things that we find useful as a company to be able to pursue and to understand all of the elements of a company that you might need to help to sell your product or your services. And it's going to give you some quick about information here as well, location, about, website, just some high-level quick hit stuff there. So jumping then back into your My Contacts page, you're going to have quick links to LinkedIn and some of the social links. Being a B2B business network, LinkedIn is a really fruitful area to find contacts and find information around that contact. So that's going to be a direct link to that sales that LinkedIn page. And then you're also going to see the company address as well as the location of the contact if we do have it. So sometimes you're going to see the contact location. Sometimes you won't see it. Sometimes you'll see the company location. We have most of our companies do have locations associated with it. And then, we have a decent coverage of contacts that have locations as well in terms of specific regions. Your company is generally going to have a full string address. Your contact is generally going to have a region. We don't have very many exact addresses for contacts. We are continuing to work on that. But again, we're really focused on the B2B connection there as opposed to that kind of private personal information. So we're going to make sure that we unearth that as much as possible for you. But there's a couple pieces more of information in terms of what you're getting in that Intel section, just to cover off on those as well. So I think that is the core of everything that you might need to know from a Seamless perspective. I really appreciate everyone and taking your time to ask some great questions and to go through some information here on this demo. If anything else does come up, feel free to join us in that help center or use the help widget to let us know if you have any questions. But we really appreciate you working with Seamless, and we look forward to continue to grow alongside you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.